Good afternoon, Chart Spartans. So we've got a very bloody day today in the crypto space, and I wanted to go through my reasons why I'm not fazed by this recent correction. Now this is a Bitcoin chart here, and at the face of things it looks awful, it looks really bad, and we can have a look actually at the where it broke down. This here is a head and shoulders top pattern. This is like a common rollover pattern, and if we want to work out how far price is going to correct, we can measure the peak of the head down to the neckline, and then bring that down to where it's broken down, and that gives us a rough estimate of about 30,000 Bitcoin is where we could end up. So that's if you're looking at it from a technical perspective, but in reality, I'm not fazed by this because I think that Bitcoin's in a bull market, and until that bull market is finished, I'm not going to think otherwise. And I'll show you what I mean about this Bitcoin bull market. So this is the long run price of Bitcoin in a log chart. We have the full cycles contained within this channel here. And throughout the cycles in Bitcoin, it seems to follow the same pattern. So we have the halving event, where the reward for mining is cut in half, and essentially the supply of new Bitcoins is then cut in half. Following the halving event, we have a big run up in price, some kind of mid-cycle correction, and then we have the final parabolic blow-off. Then we have a look at the next cycle. We have the halving event, Bitcoin runs up in price, there is some mid-cycle correcting, and then we go up for the final end-of-cycle parabolic move. Now let's have a look at our cycle. So we had the halving event in May of 2020, Bitcoin ran up, and we didn't actually get any corrections throughout this whole sort of cycle until now. And the fact that this is the first correction that we're seeing, if anything, this was a necessary thing to happen. If we wanted to see Bitcoin rise in price, we needed to have seen a correction. Too many people have come into the market who have never been invested before, never invested in anything, especially crypto, expecting to get quick returns, but that's not how it works. But the latecomers have to feel the pain, and I think that's what we're seeing on Twitter today. Now this mid-cycle correction here, it looks very similar to what happened in 2013. So I still think the bull cycle is intact, and if we have a look at these Bitcoin peaks, Bitcoin peaked 12 months after the last halving event. In 2017, it peaked 16 months after the last halving event, and currently we are 12 months after the last halving event. So 12 months is somewhere that Bitcoin could peak. However, if you look at the previous two peaks, we can see that this ended in a parabolic blow-off phase, up here like that, and up here like that. And we haven't seen that yet. We haven't seen the big explosion yet. So I'm favouring the scenario where we peak 16 months after the halving event, which would take us up to about September 2021. That gives us 4 months to see some kind of regaining of support here, and then one final blow off into the end of summer. Now if I add on here the 30-week moving average, bear with me 1 second. So I've added on here the 30-week moving average, and that is essentially what we are interacting with now. We have not touched a 30-week moving average since April 2020, which was before the halving event. And you know, in any bull cycle, you need to correct, and this is what we're doing. we are coming back to that 30-week moving average. We've potentially been oversold, and in my opinion, I think we're trying to find a new floor and then build support before we head higher. If you have a look at the 2013 cycle, because that's what I think is most similar to today. Here we go, the 2013 cycle. The Bitcoin was above the 30-week moving average throughout the entire move up to here, and then we corrected back to the 30-week moving average. We regained support, we had a move up, a little quick flash down, and then the final blow off phase. So I'm thinking that this move here is what we're probably going to be facing over the next 4 months. Now, Bitcoin is, and crypto is, incredibly risky, and in the back of my mind I'm always thinking that this could go to zero. You don't know what the government or what regulations the government's going to bring out, whether they ban it completely. It's always got to be in the back of your mind that this is going to zero. So this is highly speculative, and I only invest what I am willing to lose. However, given the sentiment that I'm feeling on Twitter and through speaking to people are scared out there, and it feels like we have blood on the streets. And this, in the past, has always been a good time to buy when people are freaking out. So that's all for today. I just wanted to hopefully soothe some fears, and if you're thinking of panic selling, maybe have a look at the long run picture, have a look at the log chart, and see where we are in the cycle. I don't think we're anywhere near the top in this cycle. Thank you.